Hello, everyone. Today we are featuring none other than Miss Aruna Sharma. She is head of enterprise sales at LinkedIn, also women at LinkedIn. Let's hear from her. How has she come so far? And today also we see her around a Fort Palace in Jaisalmer, and I'm curious to sit by her side and have that sip of coffee with her under that tree. I really so wish. Well, let's just hear from her. What is been your success mantra, Aruna? Really curious to know.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Happy Women's Day. The first thing I want to say is, I look back at so many years of having been a woman and done what she wanted to do. I have mixed feelings. Today we are discussing, we are celebrating something that should actually have been something that should have come to us on a platter, right? We're still fighting for some of the rights, to just be yourself. We're still at that stage. Having said that, I'm really happy how things have changed. I work at LinkedIn and I don't see the kind of challenges I saw 20 years ago in another MNC, right? The women that they went through and stuff like that. So things are changing, but not quite for a lot of other women. So I think the number one thing I think women need to be is own their own destinies. Be who they are. Stop, just block out everything else and question yourself and say, okay, what makes me happy? Right? And it can be that I need to support my family. It can be because I love my husband so much, I want to conform a little bit. And it can be that I don't want to do any of these things. I think the first thing is to put yourself and say, what do I want? What makes me happy? And then go backwards from that, right? Oftentimes women are always looking, especially even in workspace, when I see women in boardrooms and women discussing with senior leaders, there are men around, we kind of hold back and say, will I be seen as someone who speaks too much? Will I be seen as someone who's very aggressive? What if I say something that's I can go wrong, right? I think just filter that out, blinkers on. What do I want to be? How do I want to share my experiences? How do I want to be seen? And then work backwards from that. I think I have done that because I also had support of a very strong woman at home and a really strong dad at home. So I think it was easy, but I know that my sister took a different life. So, it's really who we wanted to be. So I think number one thing is own your own destiny, be yourself, and then you can help other people and be supportive and stuff like that. And I think I've been that.
How wow is that? I really wonder why we started off the Wow Talks, the Wings of Women Talks. And indeed, what you said is the real wind under the wings of women, I would say. If they can start to say, why not I before others? What do I really want? And then those what ifs start to diminish. What if I say and that makes an impact? What if I say and that brings me out there and makes me vulnerable, or
And it's also okay to be wrong. Why
it's
be
okay
so
to be
harsh on
wrong.
ourselves?
Yeah, just be kind to yourself
I
and
think
be
they're
able to
brutal.
say, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I think women are very brutal to themselves and, being critical. I
yeah,
went wrong.
yeah,
That one's smarter than me. You
yeah.
know,
That voice of
it's
critic
okay.
doesn't allow us to make that choice, the wise choice. Sometimes it holds us back.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So, Aruna, amazing. How do you balance work and life, or maybe you integrate work and life? Is what I've understood about you so far, briefly. But yeah, if you could share more.
Yeah. Well, I've defined my work-life balance, and that's also because I've been very sensitive to people around me, my husband, my daughter, my parents before that, and all of that. So work-life balance is really, don't put pressure on yourself. Sometimes your work will take over, and sometimes your family will. Fun after work will take over. Don't pressurize yourself. Work-life balance actually does not exist sometimes, and it's okay. It's okay. There is just too much emphasis put on that. I think you do justice to what you want to do, and your salary, your work earns you a salary, puts food on your table, gets to travel around the world if that's what you want to do, buy you great clothes. You have a commitment to that because that puts food on the table for people you care for and for you to do those things. But also there will be times when your family or just having a good time should take over. So don't be pressurized. I keep saying don't be harsh on yourself. So that's a little bit of a myth in my head, honestly, that work-life balance exists. I think balance exists, and you say, okay, today,
Balance.
yeah, I think focus on that, not work-life balance.
Nice, nice, nice. Thank you so much for sharing that perspective also, Aruna. Balance exists, work-life balance may not, right? And you
Yeah.
might be shifting one side or the other and be okay with that. Being okay with not having the work-life ideal balance somewhere in our minds. Great. Thank you for sharing that, Aruna. And now I'm curious to know what happened to LinkedIn. How have you challenged the limits at LinkedIn while the pandemic happened? How has life shifted for LinkedIn and for those at LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Just curious to know.
Actually, LinkedIn is a very forward-thinking organization. It's a little bit like,
Yes.
the family I come from. We are middle class in our values, but we are forward-thinking. We allow freedom. And I think LinkedIn is at the forefront of that, right? We have many initiatives within LinkedIn to kind of support women, many policies that come in to support women, which were like, otherwise not acceptable in very traditional mindsets. So we're at the forefront. They listen to us. So there is a forum where we can go to them and say, okay, this is what we need and stuff like that. And they hear us out. I actually had an initiative for LinkedIn, which is called Women at LinkedIn. I had the North chapter, right? So what that really is, despite the fact that we have equal pay, equal time, equal opportunity to speak, we have many women leaders, but as is the case with the world, you don't have too many women at the top level. You will have at the mid level, at the entry level. As you go up the ladder, it's a fact. It's a no-brainer that everywhere in the world, women so the funnel starts getting smaller and smaller for women leaders as you go up. There is a focus, as many new age tech companies, there is a focus on women leaders and developing them. So as a part of Women at LinkedIn, we are constantly looking at how we can help each other, support each other, and it's also about getting allies in the form of men. So being a modern woman means you include everybody. It does not mean you're bitter. It does not mean you put somebody down. It means that it's an equal world. It does not mean women come here and men come here because men are here right now and we're here. It means it's an equal world. So there are a lot of opportunities and initiatives we have constantly. What really happened and we did a lot of researches on what's happening. We don't just work with Women at LinkedIn inside LinkedIn. We also work outside of it to support women outside of that. And research has shown that work from home has been very harsh on women. It's, a lot of, some of us who are privileged think differently, but most of us, what's happened to working women is work continues. You get an extra load of looking after your children and their schooling at home, cooking, getting the house clean. These primarily stay, these are owned by women, however modern a society may be. I remember reading something on Akshay Kumar's wife saying, I'm like a very, very powerful woman, I am modern and all of that, and yet I'm going to receive a reward by the president, whoever the kids, I forget who, and she's getting ready to go, and the maid comes to her and says, okay, what khana to make, what food to cook, and she's saying, look, there's Akshay at home. So even in their heads, and at that level, she's not going to Akshay. She's still going to Twinkle Khanna and saying, okay, what should I cook? So that has put a lot of stress on us. So what we've done at LinkedIn is we have these constant talks and conversations and forums where we kind of sensitize men and women to the fact that there is an extra load and they need to chip in. And wow. I have to tell you, within our own circle of people who work with me, I don't know any man who's not chipping in, right? But though it's a rarity, but I think that there is sensitivity around that. Young men and women are doing that. So at LinkedIn, we're conscious. We constantly have people coming and talking and saying what's happening to the women. Stress. Also, domestic violence is increased. The stress of workload has gone up a lot. So it's been very, very harsh on women. So I think society should become sensitive to that, should start chipping in. I think 2 days ago, I don't know if you see, there's a constable in Chandigarh who has gone to work with a little baby. And she's doing
that story.
Yeah, I think so. I see that with mixed feelings. I say it's fab. This is her commitment to her work. But where is her support system? Why is that little baby out on the road with the mother? right?
Yes. Yeah, so true.
And so, yeah, so it's two aspects to it. So if our society is sensitive, if you have friends and family around you, they should have taken care of the little baby. It's not just about her commitment to work. That baby's
True
on the
that.
road, right?
True
So
that.
we're very mixed up. And I think at LinkedIn, we're very conscious of these things. And we are forever talking to each other, sensitizing our men folk who actually are our allies and women at LinkedIn. They come in. So, I did the first interview with Women at LinkedIn with Barkha. And the person who co-hosted that with me was another man. So I think being a modern woman is about being inclusive, not being bitter, and continuing to do what you want to do, right?
Yeah, and I
So
think
I
it
think that
starts
really
from,
is simple.
yeah, yeah. And I agree with you. And it starts from being equal, thinking, feeling, acting equally, giving yourself permission to
Yeah,
feel equally, and then ask for help.
yeah,
I think we women hesitate in
yes,
asking and reaching out for help and support. Yeah, we think that
yeah,
we are
because we are
nine
babies,
hath while,
right?
yeah, we're Devis, absolutely. So we're talking on the same wavelength. So I actually doodled last night that how is women perceived in our society with that nine hath Wali Durga Devi, right? And why is she being always looked at like that? That she can manage. Everything else will be taken care of. She can manage. And then women also manages. Women also goes
Yes,
forward and manages. But for how long is the question? When can we start to think equally, be equally, and know that everybody has the power to manage multitasks and balance. So why not have men also chip in? Why not ask for help? Yeah. So
and do it without aggression, without
yeah,
being, you know, angry. It's your
yeah,
right, so you don't have
it's
to be
all
angry
right.
about it.
So true, so true. How true. Awesome. Great, Aruna. And what's your advice to budding women leaders, entrepreneurs like me, also others who are watching? What's your advice to them?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is that women traditionally we are seen as people who don't read data. Now in today's
Mm.
world, that is where I see women kind of slip a lot. Even very strong women kind of
Mm.
slip. We don't prep enough. We don't read the data because we've got this filter on that I'm not good. Right from childhood, you're told, oh, you're not good at math. That's so typical of woman. You're not good at driving. You can't drive. That's so typical of woman. It's not your fault. Women are like that. Don't believe all of that crap, right? When we sit down and read ourselves, when we analyze, we're stronger, but we don't allow ourselves that. So you have no choice but to upskill yourself, know what the trends are, understand technology, constantly work at being equal, in the sense of knowledge, because knowledge is power. So I think that's the number one thing that women sometimes I have seen they don't prep enough, not because they can't, but because they just feel that I can't do it. There is a huge I can't, this I'm a woman, I can't do it. Once you
Mm.
do that, I think it's very important to speak. Don't be scared of failing, don't be scared of being looked at, don't look at the result, live in the moment and say I want to share this knowledge and I want to learn. If I'm wrong, I want to hear, and then next time I can improve, just like men do, right? So don't be scared to use the word ambition. There is a research that shows that 56% of the women think being ambitious is very important, is great, and they are ambitious, but only 20% are okay with sharing that to define themselves. They would rather use terms like I'm motivated, I'm inspired, I'm ambitious, I want to be the CEO, I want to be there, and I want to do what it takes to get there. So I think stop putting these filters on, learn, prep, upskill yourself all the time, be open to failing, be open to being told you're wrong, and going back and correcting and getting back and improving, and then speaking your mind. You can't demand an equal world when you won't have you have access to equal knowledge, but if you don't use that, you will not get it. You should not get an equal world just because you're a woman.
Wow, Aruna.
So I think simple,
Listening to you,
it's simple. Yes.
as simple as that, as powerful as that too. Some of my words and I'm an acronym person. So the acronym that's emerged for me right in front of me is women can lead, I heard you say if they learn, L as in learn. I heard you say if they explore and experiment, E. And if they are ambitious, if they are okay to be ambitious, A. And B, base themselves on data. Acquire as much knowledge as they can and use their power to analyze and not just get paralyzed with, okay, I don't think so, that's my job. I don't think so, I can do it. I don't think so, I can be the CEO. Why not? Why can't you be the CEO? Right. So ambition
Yeah.
is important
They
to
want
lead.
to, so I have to disagree with you that I don't
Yes.
think they don't want to be, but
Yeah.
they're scared to kind of openly go after it. That fear
I like
paralyzes
that.
us, you know.
I would like
Am
that
I seen
perspective.
as ambitious?
Yeah.
Yeah, am I seen as ambitious, aggressive? Aggressive is a bad word. It's
Yeah.
not. You're aggressive at work, you're aggressive at getting ahead and doing good. And look at what the world will gain if women are leaders. There is
So
research to
true.
show when women are leaders, they bring in so much, and there's growth. Women hardly ever fail when they're leaders because they combine gentleness, softness, empathy, along with all of what else is needed, what men have. So we are amazing creatures. We combine who we are. I mean, don't have to stop being a woman. I I very easily hug somebody at work because that person's done well. I very easily put a heart, on any post on LinkedIn. I'm okay to do that. Man cannot do that, and all of us crave for love. So let's keep that, and let's add data, information, knowledge, ambition, aggression. Do what it takes to get ahead. Combine that. World needs it. World needs women.
Awesome. Okay, and that's a wow heart for you on my screen right away.
Thank
Thank you. I so wish
thank
I
you.
was there in person with you, and I could really hug you for how you have shown up, the path for other women to lead. Thank you so much, Aruna. It has been a pleasure to talk to you, learn from
Thank you.
you, and take this talk forward to as many women as possible to help them soar higher. So thank you for coming on this
Thank you.
Wings of
Lovely
Women
talking.
Unshare. It was wow. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye. Happy Women's Day to you too. And
Happy
everyone
Women's
else who's
Day. Yes. Happy Women's Day to everybody.